Well, lovely to see you all again this morning. Hope you all slept okay. And so just to remind you, we've just got the 2 sessions today, session this morning, and then we've got another session this afternoon, and we'll finish at 5:30. So I'll hand you over to Paramananda in London, and he'll lead us through the session this morning. Maybe I'll salute the shrine before I do that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you're going to respond, Paramananda?
I will.
So if you've got a shrine near you, you might want to salute it. If not, you can salute the virtual Rivendell shrine, or you can salute the Buddha nature everywhere. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namah.
Om.
Om.
Ah.
Ah.
Hum.
Om. So, good morning to you all. You had a good night's rest. So I think I start just by saying a little bit about how we're kind of approaching meditation on this weekend. Which some of you might be kind of quite familiar with, and perhaps some of you are rather less familiar with. I think the title of this weekend retreat, Birdsong in the Bones, it kind of implies that there's various ways of knowing or experiencing. And we sort of have this, don't we, as an idiom of the English language, to know something in our bones. And it implies a kind of deeper, maybe even instinctual knowing or recognition of something. And put very crudely, I suppose you could say there are 2 basic models of spiritual development, sometimes known as the developmental model. And this implies that we're kind of moving towards something that's beyond us at the moment, if you like. And we, and then there's another model which is has as its kind of motif, if you like, this idea of an uncovering of something that's already present. Sometimes it's referred to as immanent model. And I suppose both of these models are just that, they're just models, aren't they? And what we've actually got to go on is our experience. And in my experience, they both play an important part, and one might be more or less appropriate at various times and stages in our life. So I'm not trying to imply that one model is superior or inferior to the other, but they do represent somewhat different orientations. And to some degree, we're working more with this idea of immanence, or the idea that we're trying to uncover something that's already present. So this is a model that says in a way that we already have everything that we need. Everything's already there. And it just needs to be uncovered or allowed to unfold, or encouraged to unfold, or perhaps, given what we were talking about yesterday, it just needs to be recognized through our imagination. Of course, this model has its dangers, and both of these models have their advantages and disadvantages, or we talk about this in a Buddhist way, you know, they both have their near enemies in a way. But we won't worry too much about that, eh? Another way we can think about different ways of approaching meditation is through the three principal bodhisattvas, which are Avalokiteshvara, representing the path of love in a way, Manjughosha representing the path of wisdom, and then we have the third principle. These are sometimes known as, well, anyway, I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, they're regarded as the sort of three principal factors of the enlightened mind, if you like. And thirdly, we have Vajrapani. So when we do the traditional sevenfold puja, do the mantras, the first three mantras that we do, Avalokiteshvara, Manjughosha, and then Vajrapani. And we do them at the beginning because, as I say, they're kind of regarded as the three principal, the bodhisattvas that embody the three basic elements of the enlightened mind. And they also suggest three slightly or differing approaches to how we can move towards this state of enlightenment, if we can call it that. Anyway, we won't worry about that. There's a lot of things we're not going to worry about it. Anyway, so, and out of the three of them, Vajrapani is probably the least talked about or the least practiced. And we put quite an emphasis, I think in Triratna, quite a strong emphasis, particularly if you're involved in the ordination process, quite a strong emphasis on meditation and study. Sorry, I meant to say quite a strong emphasis on study, on understanding the Dharma intellectually. And of course, this is quite important. And there's also quite a strong emphasis on ethics and love, we could say. What we're doing here, really, to some extent, is emphasizing the third aspect, which we could broadly call energetic. The Vajrapani represents a kind of energetics of enlightenment, if you like. And to an extent, it represents a more somatic way of practicing. So rather than trying to work out our psychological knots and kinks, and it represents a way of working with the body, working with the basic kind of energetics of being, if you like. So I thought this morning we will start with the Vajrapani mantra. So we'll do another mantra, but we'll do the Vajrapani mantra this morning. As with all these bodhisattvas, all these archetypal figures, they have numerous and varied manifestations. Unusually, for most of them, the wrathful Vajrapani is probably better known, at least within Sri Ratna, than the peaceful Vajrapani. Vajrapani does have very beautiful, peaceful manifestations, sometimes sitting in raw leaves, and often seen in tankers of certain periods of Buddhist art, where you have a central seated Buddha, and either side of the Buddha you have these two very elegant figures, male figures with that kind of curve that they have. They have very slim hips, don't they? Quite a big open chest, and they have this, I'm not standing up completely straight, they have this lovely sort of serpentine curve to their bodies. Anyway, and one of them is holding a lotus. On one side, they're identical with each other, but one's holding a lotus, and that's Padmapani, and the other one's holding a Vajra, and that's Vajrapani. And they stand sentient, sentinel, either side of the Buddha, the feet of Buddha. And we see that in a lot of times. Anyway, more commonly is wrathful manifestation. In the wrathful manifestation, it's quite bull-like, like a bull, massive, dark blue, nearly black, midnight blue, surrounded with flames, and the usual kind of ornament, skull, crown of skulls, and the snake around his neck, tiger skin loincloth. Anyway, I've got a picture of him up there anyway. So anyway, probably most of you have come across this image, and if you haven't, don't worry. So we're going to do his mantra. It's a very simple mantra, just Om Vajrapani Hum, Om Vajrapani Hum. We're going to do it in a slightly different way. You're going to be doing it at home, so you make of it what you like, really. But what we're going to do is that on the last syllable, we're just going to contract up from the pelvic floor, and then pull in the abdominal muscles. So we're forcing the air out of the body. So it becomes something like Om Vajrapani Hum. So we get a Hum. So I'm doing that by I'm contracting my pelvic floor and then pulling in my stomach. Yeah. So it becomes a Hum. So this is a quite energetic way of doing a mantra. And we're going to do this because morning after that we'll try and do some work with a kind of energetic work with meditation. I have that sort of approach to meditation. So this is a way of just really energetically activating the body. Now it's quite vigorous, and we're going to do it 108 times. Doesn't take very long, it's a short mantra, but so you need to feel your own way into it. Don't start off too mad, don't go too crazy or you won't be able to sustain it. And just sort of feel your way into it as you go. And we'll see how we get on with that and see what comes out of that. There's something about the Vajrapani mantra. It's a bit like a train going down the track, a bit like a runaway train. It's got this tendency to get faster and faster, but we're going to resist that tendency because you want to give yourself enough time between each mantra to relax the belly and relax the body before you start again. So there'll be just a little pause as you take in the in-breath and just let the body relax. And when you do it, try and keep the shoulders and the face relaxed. So we try, and the legs section. So we're trying to kind of keep relaxed other than this contraction on the last syllable. Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't done it like this before, don't worry. Just feel your way into it. I hope that's clear enough. As I say, we do that 108 times, and when we've done 108, I just ring the bell and we just stop. Boom. And then we'll go on from there into a sitting practice. See what happens with that. Okay, so get yourself comfortable. Just find my mala. Here we go. So I've got this mala here. Mala was given to me 34 years ago, I think it was now. By Jinananda. Some of you might remember Jinananda. I don't know, he died a couple of years ago. He was ordained a year after me. We were friends, and we both took the Rothbard Vajrapani sadhana practice on our ordination, and someone had made him this mala on his ordination fee, and when he came back, he gave it to me. So it's been used. It's been used a lot for the last 35 years now, 34 years, and not exclusively on the Vajrapani mantra. I think of it as mala associated with Vajrapani to me. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you that. This is Jinanda was the editor on most of Sangharakshita's book, or at least he was one of Sangharakshita's principal editors, and I think she's quite responsible, really, for making Sangharakshita more readable, really, pulling them out of this rather Victorian Baroque style and slightly more readable style, with such books of wisdom beyond words. So he played quite a big part in a way in the determination of the Dharma, at least within Sri Ratna. Anyway, so we'll just sit quietly for a minute or two till I feel ready to start. Vajrapani's got a Vajra in the hand. The Vajra is a symbolic thunderbolt. So in a way, Vajrapani is a lightning god, if we want to see him in this way. Anyway, there's so much I could say about Vajrapani, but we don't have a huge amount of time, so I won't. So maybe take one or two slightly deep breaths and just feel into the body. You might want to just find those pelvic floor muscles there before we start. Om Vajrapani Hum. 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 Let's go down to the base of the posture, parts of our body in contact with the cushion or whatever it is we're sitting on. Our legs, or soles of our feet, depending on how we're sitting, the parts of the legs are in contact with the ground. And just let any holding in the legs, just imagine it being released into the earth below you. You just reassure yourself you don't have to hold on in your legs. You just let go in your legs, in your buttocks there. Maybe have a sense of the ground broad and deep below you. Spreading out into the surrounding landscape, cityscape, whatever you happen to be. So we're just seeing if we can trust the earth to support it. Sense that you've taken your place, taken your seat in the world. This is the Buddha took his seat under the Bodhi tree all those years ago. He gave up moving towards or moving away. He just decided he was going to sit there, either till his blood dried up or he gained liberation. Get some breath into the legs. So this is a kind of secondary imaginal breath. Get the legs breathing a bit. These kinds of secondary energetic breaths we can link to our normal breathing. So it's just a matter of just being aware of your legs as you breathe in, and being aware of your legs as you breathe out. Just imagining a kind of energetic flow in the legs. Maybe coming up through the soles of your feet. Those delicate bones of your feet. Through your ankles into your calves, shin bone. through the knees and up through the thighs, the big bones, the muscles of the thigh. And beginning to pull perhaps in the pelvis. And releasing back the other way. So it's just a fancy way of saying be aware of your legs as you breathe in and out. Have an image of letting go in your legs, fully letting go in your legs. First time we encounter Vajrapani in the Pali canon, we encounter him as a yaksha. The yaksha is a tree spirit, the psyche of a tree, if you like. The equivalent in the Western mythology would be Heracula or Hercules. He starts his life mythologically speaking. As a god of the oak tree. Sometimes known as the lightning tree. We're just relaxing our legs and imagining this deepening connection with the earth under us, as if the legs, the roots of a great tree going down into the earth. As we relax the legs, we can draw up. We're going to begin to imagine drawing up from the root. So just coming into the pelvis, from the base of the posture, the root of the posture. The root chakra, base of the spine or the perineum there between the anus and the sexual organ. As we breathe in and out, just imagine, just very, again, as I was saying yesterday, this kind of imagine, just playful, yeah. Don't try and force anything to happen. It's a playful imagining. We don't appropriate the imagination to the ego, if that makes sense. No, we don't. So we're aware of our breathing, our natural breathing, and we're beginning to imagine a kind of drawing up of the earth energy into the body through the root or base chakra. We're kind of drawing awareness into the bowl of the pelvis. I like to imagine your pelvis just sort of falling open a little. And we're just noticing what it feels like down there in our body, right down at the root. With our basic connection with the world, if you like. Whether we feel safe in the world. So just feel how the world, on a physical level, does support you now, holding your weight. So we're drawing up very gently and slowly from the root, the sexual center. Just above the root center. And releasing back down. So we draw up what we need from below, and then we release what we no longer need to be holding on to. There's some kind of exchange, imaginative exchange with the earth below. And we can trust the earth to be able to recycle the energy or whatever it is we let go of. So we're aware of the root and the sexual center as we breathe in. And we're aware as we breathe out. Nice soft face. Let the face soften through the root into the earth. Don't worry if nothing's happening, that's fine. Some of you might be able to remember how you could just sort of slip into play up to a certain age when you were a child. Allow yourself to inhabit different imaginal realms. Maybe in the woods, just in your own room. Anyway, so breathing in and out. So we're going to roughly trace what sometimes is referred to as the central channel. It's sometimes imagined as the spine. More often imagined perhaps just in front of the spine and maybe incorporating the spine. It's an imaginal channel running from our root to our crown. In some of the Tibetan yogas, it's imagined as a channel of blue light. But if it offers itself to you in any other way, just go with how it offers itself to you. Don't try and impose on your body. So on the in-breath, or drawing up, on the out-breath, we're releasing back down. If this reverses itself, just go with that as well. So we're drawing up from the root through the sacral center, now up towards the navel center. So quite a big gap there, isn't it? Some of you might find another kind of point or center on the way, which we get in certain energetic systems. But anyway, you don't have to take any of this too literally. Imagine gently drawing up from the earth towards the navel now, from the root. And releasing back down. So this is what we were doing in the more dynamic way when we were doing the mantra. Now we're doing it in a more gentle way. So release those legs a bit more, holding on in the legs, just release the legs. Gently drawing up and releasing. So drawing up to the navel center now, and releasing back down. Nice, relaxed, softening face as you do it. And then we're going to draw up, right up to the heart center. So it's quite a big a large distance, isn't there, between the navel and the heart center going through the solar plexus. So just very gently taking your time to breathe in, or imagining, you might want to imagine a light that helps, the blue light coming up from the root now through the sexual center, right up to the navel center, then starting to make its way up towards the heart center. And releasing back down. And the shoulders relax a little there. So this is imagined right in the core of the body, just in front of the spine, and including the spine from the exercise. So as you're doing this, don't worry about any thoughts or images, just let them come and go. And we're using our normal breath to stabilize this imagining. So we're imagining on the in breath and we're imagining on the out breath. But like a well, isn't it? Coming up, a spring coming up through the body. The blue light coming into the heart area. Maybe the light sort of flowers or blooms in the heart a little bit. Just releasing back down. Nice soft face now. Quite a long journey, isn't it, from the root to the heart. As we're told in the White Lotus Sutra, the lotus does not bloom in the air, but from the mud. Now we're going to make the journey, extend the journey from the heart to the throat center. We're gently breathing the whole length of ourselves now from root to throat. Imagining this channel, a well, even a ladder. up to the brow center, right in the middle. It's just sort of above the top of the spine, isn't it? In the middle of the head. Take a line back from where you imagine the third eye into the center of the head. Right up to the crown. So just playfully breathing the whole length of you now, from root to crown, and releasing from crown to root, back down. And don't try too hard at all. Just breathing in, experiencing the length of it, through this imaginal central channel. I even like to fountain out of the crown a little bit. Imagine the root open to the energy below. And also imagine the crown open to the solar energy, the light above you. And see what happens when you do that. Something quite interesting might happen. A different influx from above as well as from below. So we'll just sit with this for 5 minutes or so. Just breathing, experiencing your body energetically. Connected to the prana or the life source of the world, the vitality of the world, just life. So we're seeing if we can have a more kind of primal or experience ourselves just as energy, just as life. What are you? You're just life expressing itself in this particular form. whatever mysterious reason, the cosmos, energy of the cosmos is expressing itself as you. My soft face. So just keep a posture and just stop trying to do anything. Just see what's left when you stop. So you're going to have a lay down. I want you to try and move into a laying down, maybe fetal position, just as calm as possible, as least fast as possible. Maybe stay aware of your breath as you make the transition from sitting to laying. No rush, don't rush. Quite hard work for a Sunday morning what we've done, so time for a little rest. Just gonna rest. You're not doing anything. Once you get yourself comfortable, you're not trying to do anything at all. Just resting. You're thinking about something, you're thinking about something. If you're going to sleep, you're going to sleep. You're fantasizing, you're fantasizing. No critic, no critical evaluation of yourself. Just let yourself be. Just let yourself be as you are. Sufficient and adequate for the day. Just let the ground hold you. Give the weight of your head, the earth. So just laying still for a while as you recollect yourself. Use your breath. Might like to remember anything that's gone on while you've been laying down. Like we sometimes lay still when we wake to remember a dream. And when you're ready, there's no rush. When you're ready, again, maybe staying aware of your breath. Kind of with a sense of care, sense of interest in how your body moves and breathes and feels. Find your way back to your meditation posture. So just settling back into your meditation posture. Whenever we meditate, it's always worth spending time establishing the posture. The posture should stay an ongoing part of the meditation. It's the vessel in which you experience yourself. We want some sense of alignment where we feel that our body is working with gravity. Pragmatic basis, this is basically the relationship between our skull and our pelvis. Or at least that's one way of imagining the posture. The sense of releasing the lower body and releasing the head upwards. And allowing the spine to be very gently elongated in both directions. The spine can be imagined primarily energetically, not as bone. Physiologically, of course, it's bone, soft tissue, nerves, fluid, electricity. Of course, when even bone, when it's in our body, it's not like what we think of bone. We only ever see bone outside of our bodies. And of course, in the body, the bone is living, alive. A certain pliability and softness. Anyway, imagining your spine linking your pelvis to your skull, gently rising up from your root, meandering through the energetic pools or flowers of the body. Nice softening, always softening, legs in the face. Always just gently, naturally, allowing the breath to bring the body into alignment, which is a dynamic alignment. Our relationship with gravity is always dynamic. Once we lock the posture, we're no longer in relationship with gravity. We're just in relationship with an idea we've got about posture. Postures are fluid, has an overall stillness to the outside eye, but internally it's fluid. Spine is like a river running through you. Open at the both ends, as it were, emptying into the ocean below and the ocean above, and drawing from both. Twin sourced from the light above and the divine from below. My soft face. So we're just going to sit with our breathing body in this breathing world for about 25 minutes. Not really trying to do anything other than staying present with our body, our breathing body, and this breathing world. Not quite sure why, but this poem seems to want to be said at this time. This is Charles Bukowski's The Laughing Heart. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. Somewhere there is a light. It might not be much of a light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them, take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you do, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to rejoice in you. Try and just relax. So we're trying to keep the posture in alignment, but at the same time, just really relaxing what we're relaxing is the ego. The idea that we should be different from what we are, that we're not good enough. And we're relaxing into our breathing body, which is naturally connected to the breathing world, intimate with the world, co-arising with the world, every in-breath and out-breath. And a unique manifestation of reality itself. Never to be repeated. You are marvelous. I have a bell in about 20 minutes. the laughing heart. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Beyond the what, there are ways out. Somewhere there's a light. It might not be much of a light, but it beats the darkness. Beyond the what, the gods will offer you chances. Know them, take them. Can't beat death. You can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you do, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it, why you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to rejoice in you. But just keep a posture for a little bit longer and just imagine completely letting go mentally. You know what's there when you stop trying to control your experience. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the morning session. We'll see you all again at 4 o'clock. And if anything's come up for you this morning, maybe you might possibly make a note of it if something you might like to ask later. So I hope you have a nice Sunday. Looks quite nice out there here anyway. Look forward to seeing you all later. So we'll come back and we'll be finishing things off then. Have a lovely Sunday. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Paramananda, and thank you all. See you all later. Take good care now.